It was honestly kind of disappointing. I was hoping it was gonna redeem itself after the awful 6 and 5 movies. But it was leagues better than those movies, obviously. Though that's not saying much. It was just kind of boring. And even though it's the longest one in the series so far, it's the least we see Freddy. And no, it's not a pun, because he's invisible for a decent amount of this movie. Literally. But, it's probably the least we see him. Most of the scenes he's, like, hiding in the shadows, or we don't see him at all. Like, there's just... most of the movie is just scenes about the characters. And he's barely in it until, like, the last 10 or 20 minutes. And I really liked this design. It was a pretty unique design. I liked his new glove. But honestly, this movie just kind of sucked. And like I already said, it's the least we see about Freddy. They say his name about 50 million times in this movie. And they talk about him a lot. But he's not really in it that much. And also, this movie probably makes the least amount of sense. And, you know, they sometimes have dreams. I think Nancy had... I think there was, like, dreams every now and then. I'm not sure. The whole dream shit is sometimes confusing with how many times they've changed it or retconned it. But Nancy sees 2 of the people dying, and then later finds out that they're dead. So I thought that was kind of weird. And this movie actually pulls the exact same shit. 6 recycled a lot of the stuff from the other movies, but it didn't do the exact same thing. This did. Dan died in 5. And it was, he was driving his car and he fell asleep while driving about 20 minutes in. Chase falls asleep while driving about 20 minutes in and dies by Freddy Krueger in a car accident. So, I thought that was a bit weird. And the whole shit, like, it was a movie all along. Because, there's a part in the script. She finds the script while she's in the boiler room. And, it says that her life isn't her life. The movie has been real or some bullshit like that all along. So shouldn't her and her father be dead? By the way, her father's in this movie. But he's called John and he shows up every now and then. And she gets her gray hair halfway through the movie. And she ends up calling John her dad because now he is technically her dad. It's just very confusing. And it's kind of boring. It could have been a very unique movie. The description kind of seems a bit inaccurate. Because, Freddy supposedly knows he's in a horror movie. But in one scene, he literally tries to attack Heather. And he calls her Nancy. But later in the movie, he calls her Heather. Just kind of switched it up for whatever reason. It would have been unique to actually see a scene of Freddy, like, picking up a script and reading it. Or sitting down and watching the movie. I accidentally turned my phone off anyway. It would have been unique if we got to see him, like, sitting down and watching the movie. And maybe, like, making fun of it or something. Like, oh, hey, I would never do that. That's dumb. Or some shit like that. It would have been cool. But nope. And he supposedly knows that, like, he's a horror movie character. But now he's killing in the real world. But we never get to see any of that. So the description just makes the movie sound way more interesting than it actually is. So, yeah. And it also kind of ruined it just a little bit. I mean, it's a unique take and it's pretty cool. But you can't have 6 movies in a row about like staying awake won't will save you, and then just kind of change it. Well, anyway, not 6 movies in a row, because there's the one, I think it's 5, where her baby falls asleep, so it hurts. So every time it hurts her or her friends. So even then, now it's not really unique. Besides the fact that nobody has to fall asleep at all. Because you can see right there, it says this time staying awake won't save you. But he's also like real. So all you gotta do is get like a shotgun or some shit. All he has is knife claws. And it's not like he can throw the knives, they're attached to his hand. He's pretty easy to beat. Especially since he literally gets beat by a kid. In the first movie, he gets beat by a high schooler, but he gets straight up beat by a kid in this. He gets stabbed in the leg by the kid. He gets put into the boiler by the kid. The kid pushes him into it when his mom tells him to. The kid closes the thing on him, and the kid pulls the lever to turn the fire on him. He got his shit rocked by a little kid. And this movie could have been so unique and entertaining, but it was executed so poorly. Yeah, that's about it for this movie. The design for Freddy was fucking awesome. And I'm pretty sure in Freddy vs. Jason, they just go back to the basic design. And I know he has a completely different design in the reboot that not a lot of people liked. So let's see. Yeah, they just go back to his classic design. It would have been cool to see this design at least one more time. It's just such a cool design. But yeah, that's about it for this movie review. Actually, one more thing. Julia definitely deserved better. She is one of the first characters that actually tried her hardest to make sure people stayed awake. And in all the other movies, the other characters like, hey, whatever you do, don't fall asleep. I need your help. This is life or death. Life or death. And they'll just be like, okay, I won't fall asleep. And then they fall asleep. This girl tried her hardest and attacked a nurse and socked a nurse in a jaw, locked herself in the room, and was shaking this kid, trying to make sure he didn't fall asleep when he got stabbed with a needle. And when she was getting murdered, all she did was try and save the kid by telling him to run for his life. She was just a really good character. And it sucks that she got killed. Yeah, that's about it now.